Okay, so the first thing that you need to do before you even begin to think about going out there and fighting is you have to know your HUD, your backpack HUD and your main HUD, and how to operate those. If you've come as far as getting all your skills leveled up, this should be a no-brainer for you. But one thing that you need to know before you go out there is that you will have to place several copies of your backpack and possibly a couple of your main HUD into position and ready before you begin to fight. So you can go look for your backpack. I have given myself a few and predetermined their position and laid them out just the way I like them. In order to start this, I prefer 1 greater heal, 1 greater mana, and then a haste. After you've laid them out and positioned them all and only are wearing one, of course, you're going to want to move on to the next step, which is putting on your equipment. In another tutorial, I went on how to save an equipment into a slot. This one is in slot 1, so all I had to do was click 1 and it automatically equipped it. You can tell that it's equipped because it's a slightly different color here. And so after that, you're going to want to decide which HUDs are good for you. Everybody has their preference. I'm just giving you a general walkthrough that you're more than welcome to pause and, get your feeling down every time we take a step so that this tutorial does not go too fast or too quickly. Let me go ahead and move on over to where Corbin is standing, and I will start showing you the first HUD. Okay, correction. We're not going to use Corbin. We're going to use Agata because it's easier. Okay, so for first demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate a HUD known as Demon Eyes. Demon Eyes. The lettering in pink here is dash because I've turned on my dash. A couple of quick W's and it will have me moving at a faster speed than normal. When I'm flying, this right here is a flight assist. It will have me flying at faster than normal without a dashing type function. Of course, you can dash in the air also, but they are distinct functions. This is a meter right here. You can set it to 50 meters, 19 meters. 19 meters is good for A&D when you're attacking. And then there's 2 meters for other systems, other such whatever. There's also different modes for this, but for the intent and purpose, I'm going to put this into a default mode. This right here, you go up or down, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I kind of prefer just letting you see with the follow. Me personally, I like to fly. Control-Alt-V will be a fly override. A lot of people use it even though you're not technically supposed to. It's basically you're going to have to. Ground fighting isn't really much of a thing anymore. Anyway, so you go ahead and fly, and let's say you want to attach to somebody. For this HUD, you would click follow, and you would see on the menu. It's most important to refer to people as their legacy name because display names don't show up in the HUD. Only legacy names do. So here we are. I'm attached to her, as you can see over here. I am 19 meters away. If I had her on target right there, you could also see it's hovering right around there at the 19 meters, which is still within a castable meter time. A lot of people like to use these HUDs in conjunction with each other, which I do too. I recommend it. Demon Eyes isn't my favorite HUD to use, let's say, but it is just it is a great tool for, certain meters, and it has its functions like radar and everything. So what I like to do is there's a little panic button here. This is called Killer Panic. What this does is you can watch right here. You're going to see me ascend into the air when I hit it. Right there. And you'll see this goes up, meaning I'm going further away from her. A lot of the time when you're air fighting, you won't have time to really locate yourself necessarily. You'll know you're going up because it's like this. But when you want to come back down, you'll click it again and you'll watch yourself descend and see yourself get closer. As soon as you are literally within the appropriate amount of meters, you can start casting a spell. For the sake of demonstration, I will do it with the protection spell. You get just into range, you cast it, you start casting, and then you can panic up again. You can also add a dash to this, to where you're further back. and then panic again, and because you're following, you'll start heading right back to her. It's just the camera is a little bit weird and you may not be able to get it to directly focus. But here we are, right away 19 meters. The best advice I can give you is pay attention to this, because people will be invisible. You will not see them. They'll come out of nowhere, all sorts of tricks. So me personally, I never pay attention to them anyways. Now this here is Omnitron. You select different people by hitting the person button, and you can see right here where it scrolls through. You may want to lock onto another person with the attach and then follow them. To end this, you'll go like this, and you'll be latched onto that person. This is a very close distance. And again, you can panic up from there, and then you can dash if you're unable to get through there. Dash through, dash, double clicks help as well. Use every tool in your box to get through everything, to not stop yourself. But the same thing goes, you have a gotta on target here, so you're going to want to obviously follow her back again, deactivate your panic button, unattach yourself from the other one you were attached to, and continue to watch this number as you get closer to your target. You can use any number of followers in conjunction with each other. It doesn't matter. And again, you're about to approach, you start hitting the button and then panic up again, dash a little bit. Oftentimes you'll find that people can get to you in the air anyways. If this happens, you should type FLR into the local chat. Put yourself onto the ground level, because FLR is a command that will take you directly to the ground level. It is just a trick. GTH, let's say for example 5,000, it'll put you right here at 5,000, and you'll also continue, and you can monitor your distance away from your target, your initial target, right here. You want to make sure that if you're using Majory, that you get within and get out of the distance of being able to be interrupted near that person that may be attached to you with the follower as well, as quick as possible. You use all the tools in your toolkit, whether it's panicking, following to another person, GTH, or FLR, you use them all. And you keep going. I have seen people battle, they start at ground level or thereabouts, and they end up almost 1 million in the air. There is really no limit to that. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and descend back on down here into the 2 meter range, which you can pay attention here. Obviously this is deactivated and it will say so. I head right on back. All right, so here we are. Can't necessarily see each other right now. The screen's kind of all wherever it is, and the camera's catching up with itself. I have heard there's a way to deactivate this, but it doesn't bother me the way it is, so I don't think anything of it. But I will go ahead and unfollow. Come back down. Okay, now seeing as how Agata is actually a demon, I cannot attack or simulate an attack. But for all intents and purposes, I will show you what it's like when your spell gets interrupted. Okay, now for the intents and purposes of showing you a spell cast and or interrupt and everything, I will target everyone took my name. And I will go ahead and I'll toss a flame strike at her, and I will not do this with anything, just so I can show you. So you toss out the flame, you can see the spell is casting there. If you are within 10 meters of that person and you do not run away, you run the risk of the spell being interrupted. What this means is the person has gone ahead and they have attacked you and interrupted your spell cast. This is why you have to understand people are going to be attached to you. They are going to follow you, and they're going to be paying attention to their radars, and they will see where you've gone. This is the reason why you want to make certain that you are able to interrupt their spellcast if necessary, or get out of range so that your spellcast can go through. Let me show you another example. Okay, and here's another thing. So let's say we're attached here to Everyone Took My Name. You don't know if the person you're fighting has defensive spells like Magic Reflection on them or not. Most cases, when you have the time, you're going to want to cast Dispel. Some older players may not do that though. They may choose to cast something like Harm, because if Harm were to get reflected, it does less overall damage to yourself. As you can see, your target's Magic Reflection has reflected the Harm spell. What you don't want to do is want to get a Magic Reflected Flame back on yourself, because that's going to cost you hundreds of vital health, and then you may have to flee the area. So to recap that, you probably want to use a Dispel in order to remove all spells from the person, but if you are in a pinch and you can't get another spell through, try using Harm. If you're a younger person with less vitality points, you may not want to do that at all, because it will cost you to a certain degree. And a person can put a Magic Reflect back on, so they may eventually just chunk you down, outmaneuvering you and outplaying you. But this game looks completely different when you're not standing still, but for the purpose of learning, these basics should be shown to you in a way that you can understand and process. Because when you're actually fighting somebody, there is a lot going on. There is a lot of up and down commands, a lot of spells, a lot of followers, a lot of action. Basically, all I can do here is show you the way. You have to take everything you've learned and actually put it into play. Okay, so for the final part of this, I will show you instant transmission. The things I like about instant transmission is, just as a special note, a move lock. It is not the only HUD that does this, but I do like it. It helps when people are kind of being nuisances on the sim and you're trying to mine or something and they think kicking you into lava is funny. Just put this little baby on and they won't be able to kick you, more than likely. Also, it does work as a follower as well. So you click, and again, this does not use people's display name. It uses the legacy names. So you're going to want to pick that. And again, as with that, you should be having that person on target already. You can panic upward, and again, you can watch. With this HUD, it does not act and hijack your camera like the Demon Eyes does. And again, I've heard there's a way to make it stop doing that, but I have never encountered it. But anyway, for this one, you'd have to completely cancel it and you wouldn't be attached. So you want to turn off your panic, come back. If you are beginning and you need to see where your avatar is in relation to things, I think an instant transmission is probably a better idea for you. If you do not care and you're used to looking at other things such as your world height and the distance you are from a person, it does not matter. The general idea would be to get yourself within an acceptable range, hit your spell, and then get out again. So you can cast a spell on the person and get the heck out before they follow you and simply attack you to interrupt your spell. You might not want to just do basic up and down either. When it comes to actual viable movement, you may want to come back down and dash away from the person as well as much as you can before coming back to them. And this is the reason for using multiple followers, because you want to be able to latch back onto that person when necessary, like undo, run away, latch back, panic up. There's any number of things you can do, any number of ways to get your avatar to move, to get out of the way, to catch up. No, I'm not the end all at fighting. I haven't even done it in a very long time, and the last time I did, I was killed because I didn't have any single one of my HUDs on. If you are not prepared for a fight, the best thing you can do is teleport out. And so what? They call you a runner. So what? You're not prepared. It's not fair. If you're not prepared, you cannot expect to win a fight. That's just point blank, unless it is an agreed upon fight. So my best advice to you is, if you're going to get out there and be attacked, you are prepared. This also means that you should be putting on your spells, meaning reactive armor should go on yourself, protection should go on yourself. You should keep your magic reflection also on yourself. And you should be using Stone Skin and Resistance Potions to ensure that you are fully protected. And for the sake of example here, you can see your statuses right on your HUD once you have casted these spells, and you know how long they'll last. As to where you put your points, this is honestly, it all depends on what you're playing for and your play style. I know a lot of people insist that their way is better, but I find that to tailor to yourself and your strength is way better. Some people like to go all in on vitality, some people don't. I think it really depends on what you're doing. Everyone is free to have their own opinion on this and how to put their stuff. Some people go all in on spell power. That's not wrong either. If it works, it works. You find what works for you and move on. I have actually needed to adjust my personal stats for a while, but I just haven't because I'm not going out fighting anyways right now. I have a lifestyle where it's kind of difficult to do that, so that's my reason. But anyway, I hope that some of this has helped you understand better what's necessary, what's needed, and what you should be prepared for out there. Eventually, I will do another tutorial in which I go out, live fight, and probably get my ass royally kicked. But I hope, at least this was informative and helpful. Again, if you need to replay any of it, I suggest pausing or just rewinding a bit just to go over another theme, if you will. And understand this isn't the end all, this is just a basic guide to help you. Thanks for watching.